What's going on, guys? Welcome back to a new video on my channel. Today I am going to be breaking down all the trades that I took this week. It was a break-even week for me, losing some money as well, so kind of like in the negative side. But I think there is a lot to learn with this week. It was also NFP week. It's usually one of the worst weeks whenever I'm trading supply and demand, but it's whatever, right? I was also traveling this week, so that's why we didn't have any videos. But anyways, I'm gonna do a full breakdown. As always, if you want to take these trades with me every single day, make sure to join the Discord link in the description. With that being said, let's get started with Monday. All right, Monday we started out already with the fake outs. It was crazy. All right, so pre-market setup over here at like 8:25, 8:30. We took that break of the candle. As you guys can see, that's a high probability demand. It tapped. It didn't close any candles inside. EMAs are looking good. We're far away from the 200. We have a fresh break of structure breaking this high right here. Right, so fresh break of structure came back to the demand. It tapped this candle that gave the break of the candle. This one right here in the middle. It pushed up with a lot of momentum. So a lot of momentum. And then we got in at the break of the candle and it ended up closing all the way back down here. Like, bro, like, are you gonna push up with that amount of momentum, like super fast? No candles closing inside the zone, nothing to then close all the way down here. All right. Then I waited to see what's going to be the reaction on the next candle. Next candle pushed up once again and then rejected once again. Third candle opened up, went all the way up and then started rejecting once again. And as soon as we broke that candle low right there, I got out and saved myself some money on this trade because that's three rejections in a row, and now it was a 4-1 over here, and now we are breaking candle lows. So the most important thing on the first three rejections is that yes, we pushed up and we got rejected, but we never broke candle lows. So the lows were getting respected. So low was getting respected, this low got respected by this candle, but now this low was being broken by this candle. So now I don't like to see that. All right, so third rejection, fourth one now in a row, and then breaking candle lows now going against my direction. I'm not liking that, and then I got out right there, cut the loss early, saved some money, moved on. All right, so this was on Monday, and then I also took a second setup on Monday, which was on ES, all right, on SPX, and it was this one over here. It was a demand setup right there. SPX had a break of structure. This trade was a little bit because the 200 EMA is flat. All right, it was also pre-market, so this day was better to wait until the um till the open. All right, but we still had a break of structure, still everything high probability demand. And it gave break of the candle again. This candle pushed up with a lot of momentum. Like, look at this candle, red with a nice size body, and then look at the next one, engulfing the previous one. So when I saw that, I'm like, okay, this one is looking good. I got in on the position, and then it did this. It rejected, started coming all the way back down, and then we got out super early. Like, as soon as it started pushing back down from this next candle, I was able to cut the loss again, like over here in this area, just because I didn't like that rejection. And then we came back and cut that loss early, and I was already like quick on my toes because I was coming from a loss, and I knew that this setup also had the 200 DMA flat. It wasn't really trending, so I was quick to cut this loss early and call it a day. So this day I feel like I did a good job cutting the losses early and minimizing the losses, but I didn't do a good job choosing the setups because maybe on Monday it's better to wait after market open, because then gold had this beautiful setup that you guys can see over here. That this one I saw it live, like I wanted to take this one, but it was already going to be three trades. The reason why I wanted to take this one is because it's a high probability demand. It's old, which I don't like that, but the reason why I wanted to take it was these rejections right here. That's also a liquidity graph. So we had a low created, gold came up, came all the way back down, tapped the demand, didn't close inside the demand, so immediately rejected, a huge rejection, and also didn't close below this low. It grabbed the liquidity, tapped the demand at the same time, which those setups, I love those setups that have a liquidity grab and at the same time they're tapping a demand. I love those kind of setups. And yeah, after that, break of the candle, and the rest was history. I saw this setup win in real time, and I wanted to take it, but again, it was going to be three trades in the same day, and I cannot do it. So that's why I had to pass on it, but it was looking beautiful. All right, now Tuesday, this was the day that I made the most money on, and if it wasn't for this day, I will probably just will have lost a lot of money this week, all right, because the rest was garbage, all right. So on Tuesday, as you guys can see, we're trending on SPX to the upside. We're breaking structures, and then SPX had this break of highs, breaking these highs right here, all right. Let me put it on replay. So this is the trade that I took. That was the demand right there. 13 EMAs on the way. So we tapped the demand, didn't close any candles inside at that moment, and then oops, sorry. So didn't close any candles inside, and then next candle came all the way back down, breaking the low of that candle, and immediately started rejecting and gave the break of the candle on the high. So I got in right there and put the stop loss under that green wick right there. So that would be the stop loss right there. And yeah, it pushed up. It went close to TP, didn't hit TP, and then if you guys can see on this push to the upside, we created a brand new demand. All right, we never hit TP on this first push. So when we came back down to the demand, all right, we tapped the demand, it rejected very well, and then I got in again on the next candle break. So I got a second position right here. So I had two positions, and then I was going to use get out at the normal 1-to-1 from the first position. And yeah, the rest was history. It was hit right there, TP, and then this was a beautiful trade on the Discord because it ran for the rest of the day. Like, it was crazy. It was a nice trade on Tuesday. So this was a trade that literally saved the week for us in the private Discord, and for me for sure. Now on Wednesday, I passed on a setup that ended up being a winner, so it was a no trading day. This was the setup that I was looking at. It was Russell. We had a break of structure breaking this low. It came back to that high probability supply right there. It rejected the 50 SMA very well right there. Boom, and then the entry will have been here, stop loss above the green wick, and then it will have been a beautiful trade for sure. It will have hit TP like in one candle. It was crazy because I passed on it just because on Monday, if you guys remember, I took this ES setup on Monday that had the 200 EMA was flat, all right, and then we lost on it. So on Wednesday, I'm like, okay, the 200, this is looking beautiful, but the 200 EMA is also flat, as you guys can see. So I'm going to pass on it. It ended up being a winner, all right. And then on Thursday, I saw this gold setup, which was a high probability supply as well. 200 DMAs flat, but I'm like, okay, Russell ended up being a winner, all right, even though we took a loss on Monday on ES when the 200 was flat, but then Russell won, all right, after market. Or ES on Monday was pre-market. So after the market opened, Russell won when the 200 DMA was flat. So it is 10 a.m. on gold. Is after the market open. All right, we had break of structure, high probability supply, 200 DMA is flat, but it can be either way. So I took a chance on this setup. I didn't pass on it, and it ended up being a loser. All right, so this is what happened. It went all the way up over here, got to the 13 EMA, it rejected, and then this candle pushed down super fast with a lot of momentum. And that's what made me get in, the momentum that this candle had. So we got in at the break of the candle, stop loss above that green candle right there, and then I was aiming for my normal 1-to-1. I didn't want a crazy RR or anything. So yeah, that was the trade on Thursday. Next candle pushed all the way back down. It closed with a nice body, no rejections at the downside. I'm like, okay, so this is not looking that bad. And then next candle does this. It started going back up and hits stop loss. As soon as we started like breaking this candle high, I started cutting my loss here. But yeah, it was crazy because the momentum, it was going up super fast, so I knew it was going to hit stop loss. And then this is what it does. Just so you guys can see how crazy NFP week can get. This is all it does. Let me. The trading view is acting weird today. But anyways, it went straight to TP, and even more than 1-to-1. So this was gold on Thursday. So it was right here. You guys can see this will have been the 1-to-1, and look what gold. It gave like a 1-to-5 after stopping us out from the original entry to what would have been the stop loss. So it was a crazy trade, right direction, wrong timing in the market. It was bullshit. All right, NFP week. I'm pretty happy that your ass is over right now and we don't get your ass back until like 3 weeks from now. So, anyways, I hope that this video was helpful to you guys. As always, leave a like, subscribe if it was. If you want to take all my trades with me next week, I'm going to be locking in for sure. Make sure to join the Discord. The link will be in the description. Follow me on Instagram, subscribe, put the notifications on, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.